So, you want to start learning to read minds, but you don't want to try too hard to learn the methods. Well, I've got you covered. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you 5 mentalism tricks that doesn't take much practice, so you can go out and perform virtually straight away. Let's get started. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on chasing the illusion. For this first trick, we're going to be tapping into some generic mind reading with some cards. Now, before some of you die-hard mentalists jump down my throat and say the cards aren't for mentalism, well, I can get away with it because I call myself a mentalist magician. Get the merch to become one too. Link will be down in the description somewhere. This trick, you will need to use any simple card force. For this video, let's just use one of the most simplest ones, the crosscut force. Your chosen card is on top. In this case, it is the King of Spades. Oh look, it's me. It's as if that was as if it was planned. But yeah, you put it on top, and you get the participant to simply cut the cards like this, and then you just put it on top. Now, from this moment, you don't just sit there and go straight into the false. From here, you kind of tell them that you're going to try and read their minds, or you're going to do something. You try and get them to think of a card to be the easiest way possible. And you need to, take a card. It makes it more visual for me. Whatever you want to make up some rubbish for this to happen. In this case, you just take off the cards like this, and you get them to take this card, which is, of course, the King of Spades, the card that you wanted to force. It's a simple method, and everybody should probably already know it, but the important thing about the crosscut force is that you don't just rush into the force. You don't just go, cut the cards, cool. Now you cut the cards, just want you to take the card you cut to, look at that card, because that will literally tell the participant how that works, right? So you just go, cut the cards like this, and then they literally just, cut the cards like that. And then they do this, or you do that, whatever you want, and then you tell them roughly what you're about to do. I know it's another golden rule in magic and mind reading that you don't tell the participant what you're going to do first, but for this force to work, it's best. So they've now done that, and you've done that, you've told them what to be thinking of, or you're going to be thinking of, and whatever rubbish you want to come out with, tell them to take the card that they cut to, and of course it will be the King of Spades, or whatever card you want to force. Again, don't rush into it. That's the main point of the crosscut force. You can even get the card to go back inside the deck and shuffle it, because you already know what the card is. All you have to do now is perform as if you are reading their minds. Throw some cold reading in there, throw some body language in there, throw some suggestion in there, however you want to do it, and you're on your way to blowing people's minds. Alrighty, now for the next trick, we have an absolute classic when it comes to mind reading. It is prediction. Take 3 normal objects. You can get these objects from things around you, but for the point of this video, let's just go with a deck of cards, a pair of sunglasses, and a ring. That'll do. Then all you have to do is write down a prediction and give it to the participant. What I have wrote down in this case is the word ring, because that is the object I want to force on the participant. But how do I force the ring? Also, it goes without saying, don't show your prediction beforehand, just get them to hold on to it, not to look at it, because that way they probably won't go for the ring. So, the force. How I do it is something called equivocate or equivoke, however people like to call it. And what this is a way to force an object or a word without the participant actually knowing that you've forced, and it looks like they've done all the forcing for themselves. So, we want to force the ring. And how you do it is you ask the participant to just touch any 2 of the objects. Say they touch the cards and the glasses. Cool. That leaves the ring on the table or whatever. So you put on the sunglasses and you put your cards in your pocket or away or whatever you want to do, leaving the ring on the table. So you've forced the ring. That is probably the best case scenario. So let's circle back to if they do pick the ring and something else. So let's say this time they pick the ring and the playing cards. Cool. You take the sunglasses, the only ones left on the table, and you put them on. And now you just say to the participant, cool, you take one, either the cards or the ring, and you give me the other one, whatever one you want. This way is exactly the same as what you just did before, only if they take the cards and you take the ring, you just say, wonderful, cool, this is the ring. That's what you forced. If it's the other way round and they take the ring and you take the cards, wonderful, put the cards away again, they're left with the ring. Either way, whatever way they pick, the ring is the one that's in play. It's the one that's left out in the open. It's the one you want to force. No matter what you do, no matter what they say, you're always left with the ring or whatever object you have written down. Moving on. Now, this trick is very similar to the first trick, only it doesn't involve any playing cards. You're welcome, fellow die-hard mentalists. So I won't really go into too much of what the method is for this one. You might need to do some homework before you go out and perform this trick, because what you'll need is a peak. Any peak will do whatsoever, but that's only where it begins. Also, if you want to learn some really invisible peaks, then I've got 2 videos over on my website called the Black Mirror Peak and Off-Peak Travel, and yeah, go check them out. But this isn't solely based on peaks. That is just the beginning, because from that point onwards, everything is about presentation. You know what that person has written down. You know what that person is thinking. Now you can reveal it in any way, shape or form that you want to do. You can do it using pretending that you're using body language, or you can do something more spiritual, or they can actually feel you. There's ways that participant can feel you, literally get inside their mind and read it. There's so many different ways to do it. All I would say is don't just get the peak and say, yeah, you're thinking of John, for example, right? Don't jump straight into it. This is where you can really enhance their experience and make it not about the peak and have it all about the presentation, and that you are actually reading their minds. You know, imagine what it would actually feel like if your mind was being read, and what would you act like and what would you do if you was actually reading somebody's mind and not just getting the peak. So learn any peak. You can use the ones that I've mentioned on my website, or there's loads of other tutorials on YouTube to learn a peak. And if you want me to teach a free peak on YouTube, just let me know, because I use loads of them, mainly the ones that I have brought out, but there's loads. Go check them out. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and whilst doing it, I'm going to try and influence you to think of something in particular. First question is, what do you use to get creases out of your clothes? Of course, it's an iron. Next question, what colour is this? Well, it's obvious. It's blue. It's not a trick question. It's just blue. And what is this an image of? Well, it's a lollipop, of course. Again, it's not a trick. It's just a lollipop. I want you to think of the first colour and the first animal that comes into your mind now. Is it a red lion? Let me know down in the comments if I got it right, and if I got it wrong, let me know what you was thinking of. Now, this might not work for everyone, especially most of the viewers on this channel. It probably won't work because it's just how magicians and mentalists think. But how comes it works for certain people? Well, the answer to the first question is an iron, and that rhymes with the word lion. The second question, the answer is blue, and although it's not the colour I want them to be thinking of at the end, they're currently thinking of the colour blue, so they won't think of the colour of blue again, which kind of, eliminates via inclusion in a way. Now, for the last question, not only is it random, but the answer also begins with the letter L. Put an L in front of the first question for iron, and then you've got the word lion. This trick is very similar to word association. You take 10 blank business cards and you write 2 connected words together. For instance, in this one, we have got locations and places. The next one, we have got food and drink. The next one, we have got football and basketball. Next, we have Batman and Superman. And last but not least, we have my favourite, a dog and a cat. What do you do from here? You need to subtly mark the cards. I do this by little highlights in the corners. It's a marking system that a lot of people use, and it's a marking system that I use most of the time anyway, especially with blank cards. When you use the corners, it kind of looks like it's just a mark on the corner. Don't really colour it in. It just looks like a little mark on the corner. People won't really pay much attention to it. How I actually mark these cards, especially for this one, is very similar to the marking system of the knock playing cards. I colour the first corner as the food and drink, the second corner as the Batman and Superman, the next corner as the location and places. I'm trying to remember what the rest of them are now. But yeah, so on and so forth. I colour, 1, 2, 3, 4, or none of them. If it's 1, it will be the one I've given it to, say cat and dog. If it's 2 corners, it will be places and locations. If it's 3 corners, it will be Batman and Superman. If it's 4 corners, so on and so forth. And then obviously the 5th one is completely blank. That way I know which one's which, and it's all 5. It's all 5 playing cards because there's 4 corners. Now all you have to do is just give 5 of the cards to the participant and the other 5 ones to yourself. Then whatever one they put down first, you just simply have to match up, look at whatever the marking is, and put it down. It's as simple as that. Now, if you really want to push the boat out for this trick, then you can do the one ahead method. If you don't know what the one ahead method is, then I'm doing another video connected to this one on the Chase to Membership, which is my Patreon account. It's the same trick that I've just told you here, it just makes it even more deceptive. So yeah, check that out if you really want to push the boat out for this trick. And there we have it, 5 mind-bending tricks that will leave all your participants spellbound. These tricks are real beginner techniques, so if you take what I've taught you in this video and make it something more and push it to its very limits, then you're on your way to becoming great mind readers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out my Instagram and my TikTok, and if you want to check out that matching routine that I mentioned earlier, discounts on my merch and projects and videos just like this one before they go public, then check out the Chase to Membership. But apart from that, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.